Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
Welcome, everybody. We're glad to have you. Like I said, we're here to help to educate you, help to make you some money. That's our goal. The biggest thing is trying to teach you some of the methodology of trading. Like I said, the arrow alerts are pretty much a manual trading system. They do have very specific rules that keeps you out of trouble. And as we go along with the alerts, we'll get the alerts. We'll do the quick check to see if it's a tradable trade. If it is, we take the trade. If it's not, we move on to the next one. And in the meantime, we can try to educate you with some minor forms of technical analysis, trying to give you some idea on how to maybe help cut down your increase your profits and cut down your stop losses. And that's our goal here. And I said, don't be afraid to ask questions. We're all here to learn. I'm always still learning. I learned a lot from you folks. And I said, I appreciate that opportunity to be able to be here every morning with you.
Perfect. So
are there any questions? Do we have any questions anybody have anything on your mind? Any particular pair you want to look at while we're waiting for the next alert to come in?
So if you guys have any, because you guys might be scanning a different time zone, a different time frame, or whatever you would be scanning on your system, if you do have an alert or an idea that comes up, please put it in the Q&A section with the time frame as well, and if you're looking for it to go long or short. So the more details you can put in your question, the easier it is for us to answer it, because sometimes we get a little bit busy, and it might take 20 minutes or so for us to get to your question. So the more details you can put, the more it helps us address them.
Exactly.
Well, I'm happy to report that my everything is working again. I just have to reload all my charts. They never did reset my BPS until I actually went back in on my ticket, and they reset it this weekend. So
okay.
So are you getting those that demo platform like we were having problems with last week?
Yeah.
That's up and running now.
So that's what it was. I guess Bill they didn't listen to him, and they didn't reset me. Well, I went back in on my ticket, like I said. They reset me, and I'm good to go. So now I just need to load everything back on. I didn't have time this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, actually. So
it's a beautiful thing. So the demo's working, the live is working.
Good.
Everything's good. So I'll be probably about 15 minutes getting all this on here properly. And when we start getting multiple alerts, I can help you out.
All right, that's great.
Let's go check this out.
Let me move this over here so I don't lose track of it. I'm trying to get I have 6 monitors. I'm sitting here trying to monitor everything. Got everything on different. I'm trying to get myself organized here so that while we're waiting, so that when the chart comes up that we want to take a look at, I can just pull that over. You'll find out that I use TradingView for my charting. MT4, you can do it on MT4, but when it comes down to doing the quick analysis and being able to grab things early, and it's a lot easier with some of these other platforms. And so back and forth between TradingView and MT4. That's why.
Myself as well. I use TradingView for all of my analysis. I find it user friendly and easier to do it. Excuse me. Brendan just wanted us to take a quick look at UCAD. I just popped it up. We've got equal zones on it, but there's more room to the upside from now. We got a bounce, we got an arrow, and then we got some consolidation.
UCAD, here we go. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, let's go take a quick UCAD, Al. See if we can find a setup.
It's right in a zone, so we're going to zoom out and see what the direction of the trend is.
On what time frame is it in the zone?
I should be on. Well, I'm looking at the 15-minute time frame is where we start.
Al, you're still in trade. You're still in TradeView, Al.
I'm in Trading View.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're showing Trading View right now.
I am. Oh my goodness! Why am I doing that?
Because I got no zone.
I thought I was on. Okay, let me stop sharing this one. And this should. Oh, there we go. I know what. There we go. Let's try this. Now you should see my.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, you got
I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 red zones, 1, 2, 3 green zones. That means it's basically in a downtrend, but this fourth downtrend, the red zone here, it's about ready to be taken out. So if that's taken out, you're going to have 3 and 3, maybe 4 and 3. So this could be starting to work into a trend reversal.
What I do like.
Right now, it's actually technically it's in a downtrend. Let's zoom out on this a little bit. Oops.
You have an extra resistance zone from me, Al. It's interesting that lower zone that you're right in. That's not. I'm not seeing that. Am I? I'm sure that's why
the one that is in right.
Mentioned
the one that is. Oh, this one right here. This little one right here.
The whole thing. None of it.
You don't have any of it, so you're not seeing it in a red zone.
No.
That's interesting. We've seen that a few different times where we've had some extra zones or lack thereof on our attendees' charts or your charts and my charts. I know Matt and I, we use the same broker. I'm not sure if Matt's using the charts off of one versus the other. He's got a couple different brokers that he's using.
Al.
Yes.
I like it. If it breaks through that red zone, because it's crossing over that moving average there, if that red zone on you disappears, I'd be probably open to taking that for a little bit.
Yeah, we did probably. How much range do we have here between the green zone, between the greens? If that red zone wasn't there, which on some charts it is, some charts it's not, we have 50 pips a range, which would allow you to, if the zones were equal, if you have 3 red and 3 green, for example, and you have 50 pips in between the zones, you can take it in either direction.
Yeah.
Al, take a look at your 5-minute. I'm just wondering, because on my 5-minute, I see a zone like that. Not quite the same. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's funny. We see the same thing on our 5-minute, but not the 15-minute.
Listen, okay. Well, I don't know what to say about that. Other than the fact it's, I believe you.
Okay.
What else is there to say? I don't doubt that it's true.
I was worried there.
I don't doubt that it's true.
Hey, let's see if it.
Yeah, I would still at this point. I would still like to see it. Let's take a look at this. Take a little bit closer. We're talking about the U.S. CAD, so let's take a look at that and see what it looks like from a strictly technical standpoint.
You got a wedge, my friend.
And we have a wedge. Yes, we do. Let's see where if it breaks out of. Let's see. Let me do it this way. Let me just slide this one over. And if let's take this, just look at just this chart here. So right now we have a wedge, but now let's check and see if it breaks through the top where it is right now. The next question is, where is it going to land? Where's the next place where it to land? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and see where the price is right now, which is right here. I'll make this a reference. Where's my reference? Yellow reference, here we go. And I'm gonna come over here and see where the tops of where it is right now and see where I run into wicks. And I ran into a wick here. I come over, I run into another wick, and now I run into the wall right here. Here's the wall. So from this point to this point, the top of the next body, that would be the range that I would expect. If it can break this level right in here, it would go have a clear shot pretty much up until you get to. So if it breaks the first yellow line, the next yellow line would be the next target. So I'd make this a target. Now the question is there enough room even from here? Here's a high, here's a lower high. So we have a little bit of a wedge. So and wedges are basically just trend lines.
So that might be the breakout right here. If that candle breaks above that top there, we'll see what goes on.
There's a low. Where's my tool here? So here's a low of the triangle. Here's the top of the triangle. Here's a higher low. Here's a lower high.
Yeah.
And this one's now breaking out, which is right here. Now this could be a trap. Be careful. This could be what I kind of put this in being the trap area. You don't have anything over real close, but if you look all the way over here to last on the 5th, which is 3 days ago, which was about Thursday, this could be the place where you may be looking at, because remember, we were in a downtrend. So from this point here to where the B is, I'm careful to be calling this a trap. Let's see, where's my trap?
Al, I think I'm going to wait until it breaks through your trap, and then I might take that for 10 pips.
See from here, and so from here to here, that's only this area from where the top of the trap and target 1 is. We're looking at 2 pips. Is that right? 2 pips. That's not a lot of room. Even if you look at now, it's only 4 pips. That's not enough room. Now it would pretty much have to break this whole zone, and then if it came up to the top here, that's only. Well, it sure looks like it's more than that, but that's 7 pips up here. From this could be the second target. That whole red zone is only 7 pips away, and for me that would not be enough room to take the trade.
The red zone.
That whole red zone is basically only 10 pips. That's only 10 pips wide.
You still have that red zone on your charts, eh? It didn't disappear yet?
It did not disappear.
Okay.
Let's see, let me measure on here. Let me see if it's the same measurement here. 7 pips. So it would have to break. Again, you have to look and see where your potential targets are. And if you're looking at just breaking the wicks and hit the body of the candle, the next zone is going to be right around the 127.90 area. So 127.90 is going to be right around in 127.80.
We had a Swiss yen alert on 15.
We do.
So I can keep my eye on this. If it breaks the what do you got, 27.85 or something like that, then I'll let you know.
127.90 was
okay.
Okay, so Swiss yen. Take a look at that. There's Swiss yen. That's right here. And we have a let's see. We have Swiss yen arrow sell. Let's see how many zones above and below we have. That's the first thing we do. Looks like it is in a downtrend, so we could take it short. Zoom out. We should be on the 15-minute chart, which we are. We are right in the green zone, so there's no trade there. We did have a bounce. We have an arrow, but we're going right into this area right here. If this green area was not there, and we had 20 pips to the downside, which would be, that's only 10 pips. 20 pips is on the other side of the second green zone. No trade. So that'd be no trade. You have to get through this one. You have to get through that one. And we do have a downtrend. Now, if we got a bounce, now these yellow lines right here that's in the reversal area. That's where you could take a contra trend in the from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock East Coast time. That's right at the 1500 and 1700 hours on the charts.
I'm offline again.
Oh, Al, if you could bring Christine over if you have the opportunity there. I don't have admin rights right now. Or you can make me co-host.
Sal there?
I was coughing. I had to mute my mic. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought I went offline again. I thought, shoot,
No.
there goes my internet.
No, there we go. That's okay. I'm going to bring Christine over. And we're going to see if I can make you a co-host. And I don't see a co-host option here, Matt.
Oh, okay.
I have a host, which means I wouldn't be host.
Okay. Usually I see
yeah, for some reason I can't do that.
there's usually a co-host option. Like right click and
on our Zoom room we can do that. This one doesn't seem to have that option for me. Well, let's see. Let me make you host and see if that puts me into co-host. Let's see. Maybe we make it both hosts. I don't know.
let's try it.
Let's try it. You'll be host, I guess. Yep, I lost the co-host.
Let me see if I can change that up here. More.
I'm going to show somebody something here while you're doing that.
Yeah, look at that, Al. You got the. You were right. It was a fake out.
It was a little fake out and right back into the wedge again.
Nice little trap. So it might bounce off the bottom.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
We could possibly get a breakout of the bottom. Now, if we get a breakout of the bottom on this, then I'd be looking at a possibility of here's this a wick, there's a wick. Here's the C, if you come over here, all you do is run into wicks and see hit this candle right here. If we can get through the A, what I call the A section, if it can break through the A, then we run into there's a bunch of wicks here, and then you would be looking at this could be a possible target and lower once it gets through all this, and that would be a measurement of from the A down to the bottom of the wick. That's still only 10 pips or 12 pips. Your 20 pip mark is right around in here. That's at 2746. Let me mark as 27. Let me put a mark on that. 2746. And then we're going to come over here to ish, 2746-ish. And then we're going to scoot on over, take this thing over to the left and see where is it going to run into anything. And right here is the next wall. So let's take this over. Let me spread this out a little bit. You see where the wall is? And see right where the end of that one, that 24 set right here is. This is the next supply zone right here. Nice big move. So if it can break this, you have this whole region here to go. And then here would be your next trap. Or you could call this your demand zone.
Yeah, sometimes it helps to have an extra set of eyes, eh?
Yeah, make sure if you guys can keep an eye on those on the Q&A, make sure we don't miss anything there. Keep on moving over. So right here, I would consider this to be the next demand zone. You see, this is right where we are right now. But like I said, if it needs to break through the A, if we can it could possibly get through this area, but this would be the next, I'll call this the next demand zone. This is where all the wicks were. And so from this down to this area, you could have a possible trade if it can break through this. I like it better to the downside than I do the upside. So right there's our 20 pips, 19 pips, right there's 20. So right in this little area. That would be a tradable trade, but you'd have to be able to get through all this if there's no zones on that area.
Yeah, I adjusted my wedge there, Al. At the top there, I included that that higher high now.
Okay, yeah, because you need to. Normally speaking, even under the best conditions, you still want to have at least 20 pips. Even if you're only going for 7 or 14 pips, you still want to have a range of 20, so you can try and at least get 2/3 of that move. If not, it's just not enough room till you get your spreads and everything else. The spread on that is 1.7 pips, almost 2 pips on the spread. So if you only have a 10 pip range, you're losing 2 pips on the buy, you're losing 2 pips on the sell. There's 4 pips you're losing just to get in and out of the trade, and that only leaves at best 6 pips with a good entry to for your profits. And it's just the risk reward just isn't there.
Yeah, because let's see where you at.
I am liking this. See this. What was that? British, Swiss yen. There's a sell. Now it is breaking through this zone right here. But like I said, we have this other zone to worry about. Now this might be a really good setup for the reversal. We're in a downtrend, and we have a down arrow. It just broke through this zone, which is one thing we were concerned about. Still not enough room for your 20 pips, because your 20 pips. If we look at this, take this arrow, and we put the lines on here.
You also got the moving average that it crossed, eh, Al? Which is a good, good sign.
Yeah, that's a good sign. But it still needs it needs to kind of bounce and then come back. This might be a really good one for a maybe we may be able to put a Fibonacci on this one to see if that one works. So we're looking at 117.15. So 117.15 in there. That would be our entry. That should be right at the blue line should be right at the arrow. The target, we'd be looking at 20 pips, so it'll be 1.1695, 116.95 for the target, which is, you got to get through that zone. So again, that's no trade still. And then the stop would be at 117.55. And then take a look at that. And see this, and the stop's all the way up there. You have lots of room, lots of barriers for the stop. I always like having at least one more zone between you and the stop. I like having the moving average between it. I like having a couple of zones between you and your stop. I would be more comfortable taking this. If this can break, then we might if we can get this one to break, and we can get this down to, let's see where that line is here. And so we got 1667. If we can get a, let's see, 1668, 1688, we'll call it. 1688. So right now, the way I'm looking at this is that if we can get this green zone to go away, and we can get an arrow to the upside of where this blue line is, that would give us an arrow with a clear zone all the way down here that would give us a 20 pip. We have 20 pips between here and here. So any place between, if we can get rid of this zone, get another arrow, be almost like 2 arrows in a row, then we have this to the downside, and then we'd have a possible trade there. But this zone's too much in the way right now. But this does look like a nice little bounce arrow go, except for the fact these zones are in the way. And we know that there's a good chance there's going to be some buyers from this area, from this pullback, where this is where the buyers came in, created this candle, came back in, it retested where the buyers were. The buyers came back in and bought again, and drove it on up, and now it's coming back down. Now the question is, are there any buy orders still left down here to drive it back up, or are all the buyers now hanging out down here? That's where the question is, and we don't know that until the zone goes away.
Okay. So USD CAD, Al, it broke out of the bottom of the wedge, but it didn't cross the moving average. So I wouldn't be taking it short because we still don't have an arrow yet. So there's a big hold on that one then.
Yep. And right now I'm seeing it's still inside the wedge is what I'm looking at from the wedge that I drew.
Oh, the wedge that you drew? Okay.
Yeah, wedge I drew, it's still inside. It just came right back into the wedge. And again, the wedge doesn't have enough room to, I'll show you again what I'm looking at.
Oh, we got Euro JPY, Euro CAD, and CAD Yen. So let me see.
We'll take a look at that. But the zone here is only 8 pips. Inside the wedge is only 8 pips. So we just need to stay away from that one for right now.
Yeah. I found that I don't take a trade if it doesn't go in the direction, if price is not above or under the moving average as an additional confirmation of that trade. Like if I got an up arrow, I'd like to see price above it.
You say you just got a trend or a alert?
Yeah, I got Euro Yen, my friend.
Euro Yen. Okay, yeah. Okay, mine was scrolled down there. Okay, Euro Yen. Let's take a look at the Euro Yen.
Yeah. Oh, you're missing one. You're missing Euro CAD.
Euro CAD. Wait.
I'll take a look at Euro CAD.
You take the Euro CAD. I'll look at Euro Yen, and we'll meet back here.
And Ava, you want to do CAD Yen?
Yep, I got my charts up and ready now.
Cool.
I'm in a green zone on this one, so I'm not seeing anything here. We'll zoom out and see our direction.
Oh, yeah. Yep. No appetite there.
This is an uptrend. It is an uptrend. We have a down arrow. That's a no-go right there. Now, we could maybe use some other technique on that. But I can see right now the zones are way too close together to be able to get any. I like having a little bit more black in between the zones than what this has given us. And this is a reversal zone. I got these all set up for today.
On the other, exactly the same.
Same story.
Exactly the same. Yeah, downtrend, and it's in the green zone below.
So for Euro CAD, we have a very, very strong downtrend and one green zone right down there. But it might go through that green zone. And if it does, then there's enough room to take it to the following green zone, which that might be an interesting trade. Let me go see it on my other charts and see what I can find here.
EuroCAD, EuroCAD is what why don't I not have the EuroCAD? There's EuroCAD right here. I don't know why I didn't get the alert for that.
Yeah, that's odd. Maybe it's your broker feed, man.
Well, it could be because I'm on a 15-minute feed. You're on a 15-minute, right? Or you're on a 5-minute? Okay.
No, 15.
Yeah, that's the broker feed. The only thing I can say is that's got to be a broker feed difference. Is what.
Interesting. Then.
So we're 8 o'clock. We're in the reversal zone, but again, we have to look and see that we don't have the range in between the zones. Remember, if you have equal zones, you want at least 50 pips in between the zones to take the trade. And this one's has 11.
I didn't have EuroCAD either. How strange is that?
Oh, but you both of you are using the same broker, yeah?
We are, but
okay.
we do. I noticed today that we do get KiwiCAD now, Al.
Okay.
Which we weren't getting before. It's weird.
Okay.
Let me take a look and see what KiwiCAD.
No, I'm saying that we can put the charts like the pair is there, whereas before.
Oh, yeah. Okay. For the longest time, they never allowed it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
So haphazard, so random what they do.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, I'm taking a look at EuroCAD. We're in a big consolidation zone. There's a really strong wedge here, so let me see from a higher time frame perspective. I found it to be a higher probability trade when you continue in the direction of that moving average on arrow. You don't want to be going against that moving average.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if it's starting to flatten out and then start curling around to the up or down side, that usually tells you when it's going flat, like straight across like this, all it's doing is just going straight, it's just going sideways inside of a range.
Yeah, westbound traffic is potentially problematic. But keep in mind, guys, Monday, not to be down on anyone, but Monday is not, everyone's positioning themselves for the week. So sometimes Mondays aren't the best days to trade. Just out of experience.
That's why these days are good for a little bit of getting a little bit deeper into the charting system. And because we have the time to do so, we can also see where the potential of things are maybe going as things progress throughout the week.
Yeah.
And so EuroCAD, even like this EuroCAD trade, like this EuroCAD right now, you can see there's a lot of wicks right in here. It's very, very wicky. This is the origin of the move right here. We see this nice, big, strong blue candle coming up. This was the origin of the move. So if you take it down, this is where the buyers came in, right at the bottom of where these wicks are. This is where the buyers, it came up, it came back, the sellers tried pushing it down, and the buyers just skyrocketed on up. So right here is the top of where that move is. And here's a high, here's a low, here's a lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. That defines your wedge. Here's your anchor, here's a hit, here's a third hit on this trend line. So right now, this is the range that is playing in right now. And you measure that out between where the D is and where the C is. You see you have 22 pips. So there's enough room for 20, but you'd have to be able to catch it right up the top, or you have to catch it right at the bottom. And this is where I would be looking at. This is such a strong wick, came back. This is really where the real test is right here. So I'll just take it from here. So what I would do is I'd be looking at, there's a trap between my B and my D area. And I would make this a trap. And I would do the same thing down at the bottom between my A and my C area. I really like this thing. I like it more down to the bottom than here because this is a consolidation. Everything's going sideways, but if it can break here, this is where it's headed on down. So there's more room to the downside. If it breaks this area, there's more room to retest this area. This is kind of a retest. In other words, here's where the buyers came in, shot it on up, sellers took over. Now the battle rages right in this area. If the sellers win this battle, it's going to come back down here, and they're going to meet the new reinforcements of the buyers. And this will be another retest of this zone. If this doesn't hold, then it's coming all the way down to probably around this area, which is the actual origin of this. This is like a rally. It based, rallied again. Here's the retest area. If this can hold, you'll probably get a bounce, maybe back up into this area.
Hey guys, so BTC just hit a new all-time high at $44,000. So
Cool.
we had a question in the chat. Would you take it short? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even consider trying to take that kind of a pullback because it's probably going to do another flag or a wedge and then continue up. So yeah, not that kind of momentum.
The cryptos have been in a real uptrend, a strong uptrend. So now what you want to be doing is just buying the pullbacks. Wait till it pulls back, and then buy the pullback.
Yeah, you don't want to go counter trend on cryptos right now. You'll get your butt handed to you real fast.
And you don't want to be chasing it either.
No, because what's going to happen is you're going to get caught at the top of it, and you're going to have to take all that drawdown, and then maybe it'll come back up. But you're probably going to sit in that for a while as it consolidates and gets ready to break out again. But I mean, like Bitcoin, man, that thing just went right to the moon. Like it went from, give you an idea. So in the last 10 hours, it's gone 6,000 pips.
While we're waiting for another trade coming up here, actually I just bought some more last night, as a matter of fact, which I'm quite pleased about.
Good. Great job.
But if you look at the chart here, let's just put this on an hourly chart. And let me just pull this.
You might have to go higher, I think.
Well, there is no higher high because they're making new highs.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I mean. But I mean, time frame wise, you think 1 hour is good?
Well, I think this, yeah, because right here you can. Here's our trend. Here's our upper channel of the trend. There's an anchor. There's a hit. Here's a hit. We can probably take it up a little bit higher here. There you go. Right here.
Oh, look at that.
Anchor. Here's a hit. Here's a hit. See how it just respected the top of that trend line. And we're going to draw another one on the bottom and see if it'll respect the channel. And we're going to develop a channel here. So this is a parallel line. Now I'm just going to put it right at the last significant low, which was right here. Here's a hit. Here's a hit. This is the channel we're playing in right now. I would be a buyer in this area. And I would that's it. I'd just be buying it here and wait for it to come up.
Yeah.
That would not have been a bad place to take a profit. But on the same token, if you're this thing for the long trend, this thing has a chance. If we extend this out, probably it maintains its upper channel, you could be looking at a time frame of. You could be looking at by February 3rd, by the end of this week, which is the 13th, I believe. Friday's the 13th. Not to say that I'm superstitious. You could be, if it maintains the same trend, we could be looking at 50,000 by Friday. If it maintains the same trend.
Al, Mariska's in the room.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I can bring her over.
Yeah. I think you've got hosts right now, don't you? So this is what we're looking at for Bitcoin, and the fact that it broke. You can let's see here. This was another. This was where was this at? This was at 30,000. This was last. This was January 27th. Made a new high. Came up high. Respected this. When it makes a new high, you should come back to where it broke the area. This is where the technical analysis, you can see where all these, it seemed to it found a lot of, this is where the battles are raging. This is where the buyers and sellers are somewhat even on this thing. It just broke, and now this is going to be what was once resistance is now support. So this is where you're going to start seeing a lot of consolidation. Come back, retest this, and may break and come back and retest it all the way down here. But that was a pretty significant little spike there, right there. This was last night. This was the 8th. Wait, today's the 8th? Today's the 8th. Today's the 8th. Yeah. So yeah, this was Sunday, Monday area right in here. This was last night right in here. Broke out of it, sharp breakout. So that's our new high.
And so tempting for people now to jump in, to think like,
yes, it is.
Don't on arrow, wait for that arrow.
Yeah. The train did leave the station, but it will come back and come. There'll be another train coming by at a little bit of a better price. And if not, I mean, you're still much better. Again, you don't want to. Again, I'm going to reiterate: do not try and pick the highs. Don't try and pick the high. Do not try and pick the low. All you do is find the direction and then buy the pullbacks, and just don't try and sell it up here. If you want, but then you want to try and stay in for maybe the longer run. But you want to be a buyer down here. You don't want to be a buyer up here.
I always compare it to people like, remember December 2016, when the small investor waited until we were at 18,000. They were the ones who got hurt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right before it dropped really, really hard. Yeah, because everyone wanted to chase it. And
absolutely.
And I know people that have lost a significant amount of money trying to chase this thing, but let their emotions get the best of them. Guys, Bitcoin's coming back down. It's not going to continue flying up there. There's going to be an opportunity to get a retrace. There will. An arrow is going to give you that retrace.
Ether's up too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was up significantly. Let me go see what... see if my love-hate relationship with XRP is up.
Well, I couldn't find anything in the news that is
looks like we have an Aussie Swiss alert here. Let's take a look at that.
I didn't see it.
Aussie Swiss.
Huh. Okay. I didn't get that one.
Definitely a difference in the brokers.
That's odd because I was pretty sure that the difference in the brokers stopped at the painting of the zones. I didn't think it went as far as not actually sending trade ideas. That's interesting.
Aussie Swiss. Okay, right now we have a red zone here. We're in an uptrend. We have an up arrow, a small little zone here. This one looks like it could be a potential trade. Let's see on the 15-minute. That zone is relatively small, I'm going to presume here. Let me see. So we are in an uptrend. We do have a up arrow. We do have an up zone. So we're going to move this here. And now we're going to put it under a little bit more of a microscope here, see what we've got.
Yeah, I've got two zones there, Al.
There's a very, very small zone. Let's just see what the whole range of this thing is from the top.
Oh, I just found out why I didn't get the alert. I had mine on the hourly.
That would do it.
And on the hourly, there's this big fat zone right on top of that red zone that you're on right now.
Aussie Swiss. This is only like a 4-pip zone. That Aussie Swiss, this thing could very well blow through that. And let's see what the target would be after that. We're getting there there's a target zone. I'd say a 69.16. Let's put that one in there. 69.16. We have about in there. So there's no room to get to that. But once it gets past 69.16, it looks like it could be clear sailing. Let me see what a higher time frame will bring. I think we're getting to an all-time high.
What, for Aussie Swiss?
Nothing Aussie Swiss. There's nothing absolutely
yeah,
nothing before July of last
January.
year. Does it have to go back to January? Possibly. Yep.
January of 2021.
And we're right in. Okay, here's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Again, this is why we say we have to know where our targets are, because remember, price has memory. I'm on a weekly chart right now, and this is right where we are. And look at all. So remember, I told you about the wicks. Let's take a look at the wicks. Here's the top of this wick right here. Let me get this thing. And we're going to come over here to the. Just pull it just right under here. This is the top of the wick, so I'm going to take this and come over here and see what. Here's a wick. 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 Here's the top of the, and now we hit the wall. Right there's the wall. So right now we have sellers all in this area. Now, once it can break through that, this is the next target. Now remember, we're on a weekly chart right now. So if we can find this, this is at May 7th. This is May of 2019. That's almost 2 years ago. This would be the next stop right here. I would say that there's a good chance that it could get up into that area. This is the last, and that's July of 19.
Yeah, I don't think that red zone's going to hold, Al. I think that red zone's getting smoked.
Yeah, I think that red zone could go away. This thing could be this could be a very nice trade, actually.
Yeah.
If we're looking at from where we are here to here, that's 43 pips. This wick is 43 pips long here. Again, that's a weekly chart.
Yeah.
I'm going to mark that. Let's take a look at it under lower time frame.
Let me see.
There's that. So this is July of 20. So I'm going to go to 15-minute chart. I don't know if it'll go back that far. It may not go back that far. It might go to July of 2019. This would be July, so this would be, let's take it back to 7. Let's see, I don't know if I'll go back that far. That's about as far back as it looks like it's going to take me. So I can do it on an hourly chart. Let's try daily, see what it looks like on a daily. There we go. That looks a little better.
I might look.
Right now. Yeah, price is right here, right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I might look for a pullback on Aussie Swiss and potentially enter on that. Maybe on a pullback.
Yeah, I do think there's a good chance this thing's gonna, but it's certainly making some significant highs right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The pullback, the trick to that is that it's going to get you a better entry and it's going to reduce your risk, right? If you just got to cover the last low, well, you're going to want to take that pullback, just like Bitcoin, right? You're going to want to take the retracement.
Let's see where the arrow's showing here.
Matt, you might know the answer to this question. Somebody's asking, Brendan's asking, Can anyone recommend any books to learn wedges and patterns?
If you want to know specific wedges and stuff, there's a lot of stuff online, a lot of really good videos.
Like YouTube and stuff?
Oh yeah, because the issue is not understanding the wedges. The issue is practicing them and having a volume of them so you can identify them anywhere. I can look at a chart at this point after drawing a couple thousand, and I can find the wedges where it doesn't seem like there's a wedge there. And it's just about drawing them. So, Bren, I would say
Practice.
Just go draw them. Just go draw them. Don't understand a little bit about the concepts, but don't bury yourself in books. All you got to do is go draw them and put your wicks on the sticks and just do them. And then you'll start to have a really good understanding of how you can do them. Exactly.
One thing that one place to start with this would be, if you look and just use this arrow chart as a good example. If you can look and see, if you see where these, like you have a green zone, another green zone, that's a strong move up. So I always start looking for where the strong move up is, and not just the little gradual, just zigzagging back and forth at a really low angle. I want a strong angle, and then I want to pull back. Usually right at the top of that, you're going to start looking for a high, a low, a lower high, and a higher low. Once you get a low and a high, a higher low, and a lower, and a higher low and a lower high, that immediately shows you a triangle. And just start looking for that, and then you can start. Then your eyes will start look for the big move up, look for the pullback. Inside those pullbacks is usually a wedge, and usually the wedge is usually at the end of every major move. You'll see a wedge, just about all the time. Nothing's 100%, but here's a strong move up. Now we're on a 15-minute chart. You see the strong candle up. I like these long extended range candles because that's showing you that's where it's like a rocket ship, just goes straight up and then it pulls back. Or right in here, if we scale down to a smaller time frame,
you'll see the wedge.
You'll see the wedge
right there. See, look,
so here is the high from the strong move up. It came back down. So just look at this one big candle. Here's the beginning of the candle. Here's the top of it. Strong move. Now it pulled back, and you have a higher low. Here's a low. Here's a higher low. Here's a high. Here's a lower high. Now it's starting to form your wedge. Then you just put your trend line. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Put it from here to here. That's the bottom. That's the bottom of your triangle, which is a wedge. Now you see it. This is a high. And you see this is almost like an equal high. Again, that's your triangle. You're looking for a triangle is what you're doing. You find out where's the price being rejected. And oftentimes, especially like with this arrow chart, you have the zone right here. And that means, so if it breaks through the bottom, here's your target. A lot of times it's your trend line. If it breaks to the top, you have to look and see where did the down move originate from this point. So if you come over to the left and you look up and see where was the move, where did this down move start? You'll usually find out that's where your target's going to be. So the wedge can break out of the top or it could break out of the bottom. We don't always know for sure, but we do know that oftentimes if you're in the right trend direction, in this case we are in a upward trend, you want to get the pullback. If this thing breaks, this one's still pulling up. This would be a good place to maybe take it long if you take it. But now we're in a contra trend zone. We're in a upward trend. This is our reversal path, our contra trend zone, the 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. If we get an arrow off of this little red zone, we can take it short to here. If we have the room, if we have the 20 pips. The question is, if it breaks the zone, it breaks this blue line, the blue trend line. If it breaks that, do you have 20 pips to the downside? Right, not, only 10. Now, if you want to go for 10, you could. You could have a very tight stop. You could maybe, but I still like to see, and the methodology still states that you want 20 pips to your target.
And I don't like going over the moving average. That's a lower
Yeah.
probability trade, significantly lower probability trade.
With this thing trending up like this, the odds of it getting through that down to here on the first go is probably pretty slim. You can see where see how the moving average over here is sloping down. Well, when this thing broke there, it's sloping down, so you had the momentum of the moving average to your favor, to win to your back. Here, you got the headwind. You got your headwind. It's coming up against you. This area right here is kind of flat, the area of indecision. When this broke and you got this candle right here, this arrow right here, now you've already started seeing this thing start to trend up. Now you've got the wind to your back again. And then your target was up here. Again, not enough room to your target. And this red zone originated all the way over. Let's see how far, where it originated. It originated all over here during the night. This was the Sunday. This is the Sunday Monday zone right here. This was the overnight. So it's right now it's trying to break through the overnight high. And I said, well, this thing could very well break through the top. I would be more apt to take this thing long if it breaks through the top here, because we already determined that this is where there was a lot of room to the upside if it could break through here. Let's see, any other alerts coming in? Any other questions? You always want to know where your target's going to be. And if you don't see it on the chart, you have to just keep going back to higher time frames until you can find it.
You got US Swiss there, Al. Euro yen, Euro
Really?
CAD, CAD yen. Yeah.
Holy cow. All right.
Yeah. How about let's start from the top. So US Swiss.
Let's just take one at a time here. US Swiss right here.
Yeah. I'll start on Euro yen. And
Right,
Ava,
so
if you can do Euro CAD.
Scroll out.
Sorry, which one?
Euro CAD.
Apologies, I had to go and adjust my cat. It sounds funny, but
you're fine.
What are we looking at?
Euro CAD. I got an alert for short. If you could go see that and see if you see an opportunity.
Yeah.
We're definitely in an uptrend. So we're in an uptrend, and I'm on a 15-minute chart. Here's our target. Let's see if we have room to the upside. There's 20 pips there. This might be a trade.
Well, the EuroCAD's interesting too. I mean, it's a downward arrow. It's in a downtrend. However, we have to get through a green zone first.
Yeah, I didn't get an arrow, but I'll believe your arrow is on this one.
Let me just see you. It's where? Hang on a minute. Where? Yes, it was. That's where.
You're talking about US Swiss, right? Or is the one I'm looking at?
Oh, you're on the, okay. This was the third arrow from the end as well. Or the third candle from the end.
So you had the up arrow on that candle. Okay, I'm just going to mark this one here. Up arrow on the third candle. So this is your up arrow right here. And we had the close of that. Do you have a price on that one, Eva? On the
the euros, the US Swiss. Oh, sorry, I was looking at another one. Give me one moment.
Okay.
US Swiss.
It's like about 90-ish, 90.18-ish.
I'm looking at US Swiss. It just looks, it's a nice setup, but for me, it's only 13 pips to the resistance.
And I have no candle at all for that one either.
Well, I don't have the arrows, so I'm going to have to go by what you guys have here.
You don't have a 15-minute arrow for US Swiss?
No, I don't. But I've got the same broker Al does, so we're the same in that. I don't know what gives with it, but yeah.
Yeah. So I've got the arrow upwards.
Okay. Are you seeing the same thing? A little too close to resistance?
My resistance zone is 90-34.
34.
Ours is 90-41.
Yeah, 90.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, it looks like where prices right now, there's 23 pips before the resistance zone.
Yeah, I got one
I'm at
lower than that.
93.26.
3-2. Yeah, that's where I got mine.
Okay.
I didn't do I just looked at what was on there, so
Right.
it's a little bit lower than that by 2 pips.
Yeah. So I'm right now where prices I'm about 13 pips from that.
Got a lot of momentum to the upside though.
Yeah. It's a double upward arrow, which isn't always the best place to get in, right?
No, you want the first arrow generally.
Yeah.
The second arrow, if you're already in a trade, you can take a smaller position and then maybe potentially double up into the next resistance zone.
Right.
But
yeah, you'd be somewhere around 14, 15 pips up right now if you got in on the first arrow.
Yeah, and I don't know when that arrow was. That was probably last night.
Yeah.
No, 5:30 in the morning or something like that. What? No, later than that.
No, it was earlier. It was probably 3 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, so Judson's taking it for 10 pips. So
that's interesting. I'll be interested to see. You have it marked up, right, Al, on the 15?
Yeah, basically I've got it about a 23 pip.
Yeah, that's what I've got as well.
Yeah, we've got a zone before that.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, because there's a drop from your zone. There's a drop at bases, and then it rallies up a little bit, and you've got a pretty significant wedge in there where it's got to break through. So
90.23 I'm seeing as a possible bounce point. We're looking over here to the right, this area. It's right in this zone right over here to the left. Here's where we had a nice drop. It based, it dropped, and now this is kind of a retest zone where it is right now. So be careful with that.
So that must be the zone that these guys are seeing then, is it?
That's probably the zone if you're seeing a zone right there, that would be the zone. That's the
a little bit higher, my friend. A little bit higher. So if you draw your zone from the next top to the
up here
bottom, yeah, right there.
So you don't have anything here. You don't have anything right in here.
That's the bottom. That's not even the bottom of the zone, no. So it's not counting that at all. It says it's gonna potentially slice right through
blow
that.
through that.
You see that last night where I guess Friday where the candles went above the moving average up there on here. Friday. No, go back further. Yeah, up on top though. Up on top of that.
Up here. Up here.
Next one over. Yeah. Nope. Go to your right.
Right there.
Right there. That's where the zone. That's where the zone was.
That's where zone is.
Yeah.
But it's not a big zone. It doesn't go past the candle with the gap.
It goes just past the downward arrow there.
This is actually a Fibonacci trend
ABC correction.
Well, yeah, here's the strong move down. Here's the Fibonacci retracement. Let me just show you this one. This is kind of an interesting scenario here.
61.8.
Let me delete that.
Is there another pair that we were supposed to look at as well? Let me see here.
I didn't even get any of these.
There were several.
Yeah, there was CAD Yen too, right? Let me go see that.
We don't want to miss the other ones.
Yeah, just want to see if we have anything higher probability. Have on a side note, have any of you guys experienced any issues with your VPS at this point since they did a little bit of updates and you guys did your weekly Windows update and your weekly reboot? Should be running pretty good.
No mentions in the chat so far.
Good.
Okay, that's good.
Working out those kinks. called Growing Pains.
Oh, in fact, Eva got her demo charts coming back up. That must have been where the fix was.
Well, yeah, they had to redo my BPS, so that's good. I knew it wasn't my Mac, so don't ever use that as an excuse again.
I'm going to continue using that as an excuse.
You're trying to detract from my Mac all the time.
I'm going to continue using your Mac as an excuse.
There's a lot of Mac users in this group. Be careful.
All my trading buddies are all on gaming computers.
Leslie mentioned that her variable is not working. She'll need to submit a ticket.
Okay. Yeah, definitely do that. So CAD yen, super strong uptrend, like legit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green zones, 1 red with a down arrow. So you might be able to do like a Fibonacci retracement and take a buy on that. That could be a potential setup, but I'm not taking an arrow down into such a strong uptrend. If we're sticking to strictly taking arrows, I'm not taking this arrow because its price is already under the moving average, but you got a zone right there, and then you got another green zone, and the uptrend is super strong.
We're actually still in the last night's overnights. Well, actually, this is overnight. This is Friday here, the 5th. You can see with this U.S. Swiss, you can see it's had a significant pullback right from this area right in here. So basically what it did is it retested this little zone, and it's coming back, and now it's retesting the bottom of a wedge. So we have a little bit of a wedge at the bottom here. Here's the arrow. We had a bounce arrow go to the upside, but here's the bottom. So the go ran right into this little drop, basing drop. We tried to retest here a little bit, couldn't take it, so causing our downtrend. Here we had a zone that bounced, as the zone goes all the way to the back. Let me move this out of the way if I can. This zone originated all the way over here, probably last Thursday or Wednesday. It bounced off of that, came back up, and now we can actually even take it from the bottom here to this zone. A lot of times I like drawing my wedges or my trend lines from the from like a green zone to the next green zone. Look at those bounces off of that. So you can take it over to here. This is the low where this zone held, and align it with the wick of where the other green zone was formed. Here was the next significant pullback. So this was an anchor. Here's a wick. It kind of breached it, but if you really measure that out, it's only going to be a couple pips. If it's within a couple of pips, I'll let the wick come in there like that. Then it bounced, came back up to zone. It's probably going to bounce again, retest. And here again, now here's making higher highs, but it's also making higher lows. So it's actually forming a little bit of a channel from this point right here to where the bounce was. So this is our channel right now, and it's trading inside this zone. Now the question would be is there room enough in the zone to where the zone itself is only to the next, and you can see it's getting more narrow as it goes along the way. So you just take the candle right now, there's 17 pips. So it is in an uptrend. I would be looking to you could possibly view this as a trap down here. So if it comes back down, we'll see this a lot on these time frames. You'll see it'll break the trend line, kind of like what this one did. It broke the trend line and then it came back out again. it came here, tested the trend line. Actually, what I did was like, let's just move it down here a little bit, just to cover just the bodies of the can. Just going to cover the bodies, let this wicks be there. This one came down, couldn't quite break it to this trend line, and it got rejected. So it caused another little higher low. So I'd be more of a buyer in here with anticipation that maybe this zone will break, and then you can get in using that for the target. But right now, I would not be trying to, I still want to respect this area right in here. If we go to a 5-minute chart, see what it looks like on a 5-minute. Not a whole lot different. Not a whole lot different picture. Here's a US CAD. Let's take a look at the US CAD. Whoops, uh-oh, what happened here? Reconnecting.
Oh, yeah, I just
Just
dropped on me.
let's try and load it back up again here.
Reboot. As we were just saying, that everything was working so much better, but we'll see. Remote desktop. Okay.
Too bad you're not running on a Mac.
Oh, come on.
Well,
You probably did you drop yet? Did you drop too?
We may have to have you share your screen then.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
The Mac is
mine-
ready to go.
Mine just dropped.
All fired
All
up.
right, I'll tell you what, Eva, we're going to switch you over to yours since while we're waiting ours to come up here.
Mine's working.
Oh, yours is working? All right, Matt, over you
All right, why
go.
don't you take it away? Because there, mine just came back up. Mine just came back up. All right, US CAD. Let's see if we can find something with that. This one, I'm a little iffy on that one. I'd have to see more.
I don't see your screen now.
Oh, let's try this again. Share screen. Share.
Did you guys get alerts? I
got one for US CAD. I got a US CAD alert here while all this was going on. Was that the one we were looking at?
No. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have an alert, and you did.
Well, I guess that's kind of a good thing. We're getting more alerts from different places, I guess, huh?
Odd.
Great, your US CAD came through on 5 minutes, Al.
Right.
Oh.
And now you're probably on
that's
15.
That's why I switched it over there, didn't I?
You
Yeah.
did.
Slick
Yeah.
guy, Al.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to figure out because the moving average was was on top of price, so I figured I'd get a down arrow, but I didn't. So.
Well, we are in an uptrend, I believe, is what I saw there. Let's go into the.
Yeah, we're uptrend by 1.
Uptrend by 1. Okay. So and it's very, very tight. Look how tight that is between your red and the green zones. I mean, they're like right on top of each other.
What's this?
How did uptrend by 1? I see 2 green, 4 now. That's the third. Okay. Didn't see that last one at the bottom. It was hiding.
1, 2.
Yeah, I've got 4.
3.
I've got 4 greens and 3 reds.
All right, let me scoot out one more time.
Oh,
here.
you're the reverse. Huh.
Yeah, you're the reverse. Okay.
Yep.
1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 3.
4 and 4.
Oh, 4. Oh yeah.
4.
Interesting.
That's a little disconcerting that there can be that much of a difference depending on who your broker is.
Let's take some screenshots. Hold on. I'm going to take screenshots of that. Snipping. Where's the snipping tool? I need to see this. Keep your screen there for a sec, Al.
Like all the way pulled out, Al. Please.
No, that's fine. Yeah. All the way out. I just
You want me to scoot in here?
scrunch the bottom. Make it small.
There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 and 4 right now.
Yeah. Give me a sec. New. Come on. See, I gotta capture the pair too and everything. All right, good. New. Save.
The parameter of these zones must be very specific for.
Yes, absolutely. For the difference in brokers, it's got to be like on point.
Because these brokers, the prices on the brokers are probably within a half a pip difference at the most.
Yeah.
Interesting.
By the way, I don't, we were talking about why Bitcoin exploded.
Yeah.
Last night. I don't know if this is 100% why, but I was just reading an article here that it was announced maybe they heard about it last night and this morning that Tesla just bought 1.5 billion Bitcoin and plans to accept Bitcoin as payment.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go figure.
That would do it. I think you're going to see Amazon doing the same thing if they don't come out with their own crypto first. You have an Amazon credit card with crypto's exchange on it.
Deborah, that's a great observation that sometimes your resistance zones are no longer showing up. What happened? Oh, none of them, or just there's one of the zones that was there that's not showing up? Oh, none of them. Okay. Is that on all of your currency pairs or just that arrow, that chart that you're looking at now?
Matt, are you done with the screen? Matt, are you done with the screenshot?
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Okay,
Sorry.
I just want to make sure that before I move it out here.
Okay. I'll send you some instructions, Deborah, and we'll figure that out on the side.
Mariska, I have a question for you. Do we know how, when the time comes, when the PIP calculator gets confirmed and approved, how to distribute it amongst our people?
I approved it this weekend. And I also gave Brian a few suggestions on how to distribute.
Okay, good. I'll get with Brian, then we'll figure out, so we get that going, so we get this to these folks.
Yeah. Are the fields all locked and stuff so no one can mess around with the calculations?
Yeah, the one that will be distributed will have locked fields. The only thing you'll be able to put in is your account balance and your your account balance and your risk level and everything, and your risks and your percent risk, and your account balance. That would be everything else would be locked.
What I suggested was either to have it added to AP Academy as a resource, or to have a Google Drive link.
Okay, great.
I'm thinking the Google Drive link will work more efficiently because every once in a while it might have to be updated with the new prices.
True, but an updated version can also be uploaded in AP Academy. You know, the thing is that we really would like to encourage people to make full use of AP Academy.
Okay, I get it.
Finding all workarounds.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, I like that idea.
Kind of keep
a lot of people are not logging in there, right?
Keep everything in one place where that people can know where to go for everything.
Good to know.
We even see it that people get through the first part of the onboarding system, then have their product set up, jump right into live meetings without going through the rest of the training, without taking the time of watching a recording. For Europeans, they have to watch a recording of Nate's 101 call on Sundays, because for us, that's 4 a.m. But take the time to go through that, because it will give you a foundation.
It answers a lot of questions that are already right there.
Yeah, like
I'm
I've had questions come up. How do you place a trade, and how do you delete stuff, and how do you? I'm like, oh boy, this is
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if that video has been added to AP Academy, but there is an MT4 basic training video in process.
good.
It will be added to AP Academy because we realize that a lot of people use MT4 for the very first time and they are clueless and afraid to click anywhere.
Yeah, but it's a antiquated platform, so
I
it's
know.
not user friendly, and so someone does need to know how to open up charts and how to move things over and how to
Yeah.
draw stuff. Like it's not intuitive.
It isn't, but then also, you have the self-starters that will simply type in the question in Google, like
Yeah, Google's your best
for
friend.
work. And they will get a bunch of YouTube videos that will guide them through that, or they will find a PDF that explains everything.
Yeah.
Not everyone has that as their nature. That's not their natural behavior. So they will go into AP Academy and not be able to find it there. So we know that within AP Academy, we have to deliver everything, and no disrespect intended to anyone, but dummy proof.
Yeah, just to take it down a level to more of an elementary level, more than a
Yeah.
university level. I think that is the terminology you wanted to.
I know, when you have been involved in Forex for some time, it becomes pretty hard to step back and get to the newbie level to explain everything in layman's terms so they can grasp it as well. Because we are used to pips and even the terminology of the terminal and the navigator and the market watch, it's all everyday language for us. But if you're new, it really gets confusing.
And we have a US Swiss. Let's take a look at that. US Swiss. At least I have a US. Oh, that's not a 5-minute chart. That's never
On a
moved
5.
back.
You have a couple of them on a 5.
Okay, I need to get these back to get my charts back to the 15 again. Here.
I'm getting no alerts.
Yeah, well, I switched over to the 5 to zero in a little bit just to show people patterns, and then I forget to change it back again. That's my fault. And make sure everybody has your auto trader button on, because apparently it will not send you the alerts if the auto trader button isn't turned on.
Nope, it won't send you any pop-ups or anything, and it especially won't go to your phone.
It does, guys. I don't have the auto trading button on because that's a button for EAs and not for indicators.
What?
I do receive the alerts.
So do I.
See, I was wondering about that.
It's just a made-up story.
Come on, I was told this.
I didn't really believe that, but I thought, well, that's what everybody's saying. So I said, well, I guess I'll jump on board with that one. But
no, that's one of those stories that it happens to happen for an individual, and it becomes a truth, which is true.
One of those urban myths. It's an urban myth.
I'll be the fact checker of Auvoria today.
Well, if you find all logic, because the auto trader is for auto trading the EAs.
Exactly. And this
Well,
is
I
an
thought
indicator.
it had something to do with the connection, with the information that was being passed to the server, and he needed a green light, but it's a bunch of junk. Okay, good. Noted.
Urban legend denied.
All right.
Always wanted to be a fact checker.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, we're going to be wrapping this thing up in a couple more minutes. Is there any more questions or answers that we can solve the world's problems here before we jump off here for the day? Anybody questions, comments?
Sorry, we didn't really have any good setups or whatnot.
We didn't get a single what I call a good trade at all. I mean, there's a couple that there was one that was kind of iffy, but had a breakthrough a zone. I forget which one that was.
I mean, UCAD could go up, guys. So there is a potential there. There's a potential trade set up for UCAD because it went through that zone. There's nothing left. It's just.
At this point, I'd probably just wait for another arrow. The arrow seems to be on UCAD, we have one that's all the way back here at around.
Yeah, that was earlier during the session there.
And Stephen would like to know about EU. Is that a down before we
On what
shut
time
off?
frame?
Your US.
That is true. We did not add that. Sorry, Stephen.
No, it's all good. Like 4 hour, it's a downtrend.
1 minute
15.
maybe.
15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's probably
Thank you, Stephen.
It is in a let's take a real quick peek at the zone
looks
out.
like an uptrend.
Basically, just go and hit that minus little button up there on your little magnifying glasses. Just hit the minus button. That gives you. It's
Oh,
in a
strong.
down. It's been a strong downtrend. Well, on a
Right.
15 minutes, it's definitely in a downtrend. You're looking for down arrows, and we're going to scroll in, and we have. I'm going to put my arrow up here, and we're going to look for a downtrend. So here's the last zone right up in this area. I'll move that up. That way, if this zone goes away, we know that the trend may be starting to reverse a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's in a downtrend. It's in an up move. It looks like it's going to come up and retest this area. And if it does, and we get a down arrow, we've got a nice shot down here, all the way down. So
That
this
could be a nice setup.
be a nice beginning of it's starting to set up a little bit for a. Now here we had a bounce. We had 2 up arrows. This one didn't bounce. It came back up. It didn't take it. And so right now I'm looking at there's possible. We had this nice move down, but now it's retesting the bounce again. So let's just wait for it to come back up, come into the zone, bounce, give us a down arrow. Then we're maybe off to the races. I'd be looking at right now. We're talking about wedges and trends. Here's a high. And here's the next high. So here's the anchor. Here's the hit. It's coming up here. We'll see if it can come up and give us our trap to go to the downside. I think if we have a down arrow now and it comes up and retests and gives us another down arrow below which should be below the blue line, you may be able to take that one. You do have a lot of room to the downside.
So we got four alerts that just popped up. I know we're supposed to be ending the session and whatnot, but
I think we can take a look at it before we go.
I want to check that and see if we can potentially get at least one setup. It would be great. I'm gonna go look at US yen real quick.
I'll take a look at Aussie CAD.
I'll look at Kiwi Swiss.
Kiwi Swiss.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we have a Euro Aussie too. There's 4 of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look at Aussie CAD.
Yeah, so for US yen, I don't see a trade because you've got a really strong uptrend. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zones on the uptrend, and then you got an arrow down. So this is not something I have an appetite to take.
Kiwi Swiss is no good either, even though it's in an uptrend and it's an up arrow. It's too close to the zone.
It doesn't look like. Go ahead.
Aussie CAD could have a possibility. It's got to break through the zone, but if it breaks through the zone, let me see if there's enough room to the next zone. It is in a equals. Well, right now it's in kind of a. If it breaks through the zone it's in right now, it'll be equal 2 and 2, and so we could possibly have a. We'd have if it breaks through the zone, we would have 23 pips. Aussie CAD. Let me double check something here with Aussie CAD.
I tend to disagree there, Al, because there hasn't been a bounce.
There's no bounce for this.
Well, we got a bounce off of here. This one was a bounce off the red zone, but now it's coming up into this zone right here.
So for a buy order, there is no bounce from a support zone.
There's no bounce. However, if we have an up arrow with a small zone right here. So if this red zone if this thing has enough pressure to take the zone out, then we have a 2 and we have a 2. And then we have a 50%, 50 pip range, I believe. I see there's 50 pips in here. There's 88 pips. So you would have the upward momentum to this zone. So basically we have an up arrow, but we have to get rid of this zone. That's the problem with this one right now. That's the way I see that one.
Yeah, but hey, Al, this is a question I asked Nate. Once a down arrow appears, though, once that now that negates any type of bounce, you need another bounce off resistance for that up for the bag strategy to be valid.
So you're saying we need to have a green zone before we can take this one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. I missed that little.
Yeah.
That's a good note. I'm writing that down.
So basically, if we have a down arrow.
Yep. Now you need a bounce off of in this case, off of support for an upward arrow to be valid.
So basically what we'd be saying is that this red zone will turn green and then we can take a bounce off the green zone.
No, what I'm saying is after that down arrow, the price would have had to drop all the way down to the bottom green down there. That would have been a bounce right there off of a zone for the new upward arrow to be a valid bag trade. Strategy 1.
So this is just a no trade period.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's I just learned something here.
Yeah, me too. I've got it noted. So that's good stuff. That's very good to go over the strategies another time. So I'm going to be reviewing that later. But I think we're pretty much done for now, guys.
Nothing.
Are we?
We have nothing. Okay. Well, I want to thank all the panelists for your help. I especially want to thank all the attendees for coming in. We really appreciate you showing up. And looks like, we will be back here again tomorrow at 7:30 to 9, and then Dante's session will be at 9 o'clock to 12. And until then, stay safe, stay green, and we'll see you then.